Sunny Day, Pastor Sunny Day. So listen, let me tell y'all a little bit about her. So when I was looking at her bio, she educates, she entertains, and she empowers individuals through music, ministry, and makeup.
You can't stop me if you want to. You can't block.
When we went on break, you were talking about how your faith helped you to complete your chapter and your book. So let's talk a little bit more about that.
Again, the chapter that I'm in with this anthology, the title of it is "She's Valuable and Don't Even Know It." So I had to, I had to take a look at my life and to look at the fact of, what God put in you is of value. And a lot of times we don't know that because sometimes we could be ashamed of the things that we've went through. And so through my faith, God said, listen, there's somebody out there that may need to hear, or, you need to tell your story. And I didn't know my value as a young person. And that is kind of why I, even though I had parents, in church to tell you, you hear all of that, but if you don't believe it, it's kind of like, okay, anybody could tell you anything. And so it was the fact of me having those experiences through being a teenager and a young adult and all of those different things. And it wasn't until I became a mother that I realized, wow, God would choose me to raise a daughter, and I have to teach her values. And so learning that and having faith in God really, really put pen to paper and helped me to complete that chapter. And it was some reflecting that went on with that and make you think about a lot of stuff. Yeah, of course.
So shout out to Paris, her daughter, her baby girl, her only girl.
Yes.
So shout out to Paris. But you know what? As I was reading your bio, you said your purpose is greater than people, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I read it, I'm like, yeah, but guess what? You a PK kid.
Yeah.
So you kind of grew up like you were groomed in the word. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about your purpose is greater than people, I know you know that side of it, but talk to me a little bit about what does that really mean? Your purpose is greater than people.
Well, what it means for me, and I try to explain it and tell people that, because a lot of times our purpose, we know it comes from God, first of all, and we will allow people to cause us to forfeit our purpose because we're worried about what people are going to say, what they're going to think, what they're going to do. They're not going to support me. You worry about a whole bunch of different stuff. We worry more so about what people are going to think and what they're going to say, whether they're going to support you, all that different stuff, and you forfeit the purpose in which God is the one who gave it to you because of people.
Yeah. And
so,
why do you think we worry though? Why do we worry about what people say?
That's a good question. And for me, in my brain, I can't comprehend why people will allow somebody else to determine what I'm going to do. I just was never that type of person that you're going to stop me because of your opinion or what you got to say. I think I guess our alignment with God, we're more so not this way, going up and down. We're more so this way. So we're concerned with what people say versus what God is saying. And when you get that together with what God is saying, everybody else comments, thoughts, concerns, social media, all that stuff will not even affect you or entertain you.
Wow, but you got to get there.
You got to get there.
As you were saying that, as a therapist, a lot of times people environment, the things that were spoken over them, they don't have the confidence, like you said early on. And so until somebody helps them or train them to change their thinking pattern, to refocus their thoughts and say, you know what, I am enough. God did create me fearfully and wonderfully made. But in order for you to own that, sometimes you have to be reminded of that.
Yes.
Or even not so much as being reminded, sometimes you have to be taught that. So it's a process to get there. So I'm thankful that you even said that today. But you know what? If there's someone listening today, you are more than enough.
Yes.
You are valuable. God didn't make no junk when he created you. you were created in His image. So I'm thankful for that. So let's get back into it. That was a good sidebar. So just tell the listeners today if they want to get in contact with the Vision Lady, because I just saw you just was in Cobo. You did a huge vision board party, and that was amazing. So talk to us a little bit about the vision board, and then give us some contact information.
All right. So vision boards are something I've been doing for almost 15, 20 years. I started it with my girl program, kind of teaching them about vision boards. But they are biblical. And a lot of people don't know that they're biblical because we're looking at how the world does things. So they have, The Secret and Manifestations and all of these different things, but it's really biblical and it's already in the Word of God. And so, so it's already in there. And Abraham was the first one who had a vision.
Absolutely.
And God told him, as far as your eyes can see, from the north, east, south, and west, I'm going to give it unto you. So he had to see something in order for God to give it to him. So that was the first vision board that there ever was. And so I kind of take the principles of what the Word says about vision. And God has given me a concept in order to bring vision to pass and how to do that. And so I travel, doing vision board parties. I'm also doing for, companies, corporations. I did one for DPS just recently for their parent conference. And so I kind of teach people the principles, and I'm not ashamed to let people know that it's from God. And teach them, because if you learn the principles, they're going to apply whether you love God or don't. His principles don't change. And so I want people to learn that. And so that's kind of what I do. My contact information is sunnyday.org. You can go to my website. That's SONNIEDAY.org.
So listen, I was in one of that first group when you did. That was almost 20 years ago, right?
Really?
And I still have my vision boards, and all of the things that I remember putting doctor on there. I remember putting Hawaii on there. I remember tell her story. I remember all of these things I put on there, and God has allowed them to come to pass. And I know that there's scripture in Habakkuk that says, write the vision and make it plain. Write it upon the tablets and make it plain. But it's one thing to write the vision, but you got to work that plan.
That's right.
And so write the vision, yes, but you got to put some execution behind your vision, because like Abraham had to see, right? But there was a piece that he had to do, right?
Exactly.
And so this is helping people say, you know what, I know that this is what I want to do, but it's also going to propel me when you put a vision board in front of you. And one of the things you did, which I love this, is you had us put it in a frame, because now it's before us and we can see it. So I'm thankful you put the vision before you so that you can carry it out. You won't lose sight of that. So I appreciate being in that first class. So again, so do you still do the apparel, God over everything?
Yes, we still have God over everything.
And cream.
Christ was everything around me. That was like our first brand.
Yes, my mom rocked your
Really?
brand. Yes, I have a picture of her.
Oh, wow.
When she first got it, many years
Whoa,
ago.
now that's over.
Years
Over 20
years.
Yes. Wow.
So
yes, we're still doing the t-shirt brand, and that's part of my husband's side of business that he does.
Well, wait.
Day-to-day
Let's shout out Pastor Charleston Day.
Yes.
We would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge you, sir, pastor of the Road Church, and his lovely wife is Sunny Day sitting here. So let me salute you, sir.
Yes.
And hopefully that'll win me a peach cobbler.
Right.
I'm gonna win your peach cobbler, because you should have did that in the beginning.
But you know what? Your ladder shall be greater.
Right. I like it.
That was good, Dr. King.
Yes.
So Sunny, okay, so you talked about how to get in touch with you for the vision board, but you are a newly Mary Kay consultant.
Yes,
so let's get into that.
Yes, I am. I kind of, the way that I end up getting it happened with Aiden. I was at a dinosaur event, okay? And I met my sales director, who's Tina Francis, phenomenal woman, and I met her during that event, and she invited me to do the free facial thing. I went, and I'm thinking we're going for a facial, and I meet her at a church. Come to find out, her and her husband pastor a church in Livonia. And so I'm like, okay, God, what is all of this about? So we end up talking for an hour and a half and didn't even do makeup, right? So we end up doing the facial eventually, and then God began to kind of speak to me about what I was already doing, which is impacting women's lives and going into prisons and, doing all of that. And it was just kind of like common sense for me. And I was looking at a bigger picture of how I could make more impact and get in front of the faces of women to pour into them with what God has given me. And so makeup came about, and that's how I end up getting into Mary Kay.
I'm so excited. You have truly blessed us today. This has been a phenomenal segment, but I also want to, for all those listening, if you want to get in contact with Sunny Day, you can reach her at
sunnyday.org is my website, and you can reach me there.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll be right back.
Actually, we're done with the show today, so
We'll be right back with Regina. We'll be right back with Regina.
we'll you'll hear us same time, same place next Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and God bless and have a great week.
Happy Resurrection Sunday tomorrow.
Yes.